The documents themselves are insinuative of a more liberal position, and they were intentionally written in such a way that they would be that they could be weaponized later. Lots of the Council Fathers that were Ronerites admitted this. Things like, what's our relationship to be with the Muslims? Jay made reference to this earlier. What's our relationship to be with the Hindus? And it sounded more liberal. Really what they were doing was quoting things from Pope Pius X, a very based older pope. They're quoting even from medieval popes who acknowledged things like, technically speaking, the Muslims are monotheists. Technically, they're one of the Western religions. Technically, they worship the one true God, but they worship the one true God in the false way. Trads, rad trads, Orthodox, everyone gets worked up about this, but it turns out that this is a very, very old medieval term that the church had.
Is that the same for Hinduism? Because Vatican II says the same about Hinduism.
They believe.
No, it doesn't. Not about Hindus.
Yeah,
Hindus, not Muslims. Hindus.
Okay, read what it says about Hindus.
Thus, in Hinduism, people explore the divine mystery and
they explore it
and express it. How do you explore the true mystery of God?
Explore. You can explore and not find what you're looking for.
No, you don't. You don't.
What are you saying?
You don't explore Christianity.
It's
in
an
Hinduism.
absolutely
You
false
don't explore
religion,
Christianity in Hinduism. They seek release from the trials of the present life through ascetic practices and meditation and recourse to God in confidence.
I agree. All that's bad, but you missed the term.
So it's bad.
My uncle Remus. Wait. My uncle Remus believes he can fly. Jay's like, your uncle can fly?
No, this is your dogmatic statements that are supposed to provide clarity.
Right.
They need to be interpreted by you because they're ambiguous.
No.
Are they clear or ambiguous?
Perfectly clear.
The
Hindus
really? You just said it was bad. You said it was bad.
Wait. But
is it clear or bad?
You finish, Jay. I'll go after you're done. They
have recourse to God.
Trads will do the same thing.
So just again, what does that do?
We have set of
a deflection, irrelevant.
No. That's a direct object.
That's a genetic fallacy.
That's a direct object.
Genetic fallacy to say that because
not a genetic fallacy.
It is.
I'm a logic professor.
You just said I don't know. So appeal to yourself. Right? Appeal to authority. Appeal to authority. Genetic fallacy. Do you miss another fallacy?
They believe.
You're a king of fallacies.
They explore. For the
record, we agree.
It doesn't say they believe. You're lying. You added that. Where does it say they do that?
Read the sentence.
It says that they seek release and they have recourse to God in confidence and love.
They seek.
They have recourse. No, and have recourse.
They seek.
And have recourse.
Okay. So and what he's
does
doing.
Does it say and recourse?
Finish up.
And recourse.
Finish up.
What does that mean, recourse?
They have they seek in God.
They can attain salvation.
Confidence and love in God.
I'll speak once he's done. So what the Vatican II document said, I was very honest about.
By the way, it's a genetic fallacy
to
say that.
Can I see the book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Read the sentences.
This paragraph right here.
Because Vatican II.
Let me read it again for you.
I was this close to getting the book.
In the religion,
just going to keep
in the religion of Hinduism, people explore the divine mystery.
Explore.
Thank you. I just said that.
This doesn't mean they found it.
You want to repeat each word after I say each word?
But have you said ascertained? If they said ascertained, we'd have a hard time.
So he doesn't want me to read the whole quote because he knows the later.
No.
The later part is what
he's
saying.
The difference between seeking and finding is very real.
They have recourse to God in confidence and love.
No, they don't. Start the sentence over. They seek. Jay thinks that the sentence said that Hindus have ascertained the truth. They haven't ascertained it.
It says that through.
They're exploring it.
Now, but you said it was a bad statement earlier.
No, I said that.
No, it's not.
That's from.
Can I see it?
Read the document. I'm saying that it's very easy to misinterpret if I say my dear old Uncle Remus believes that he can flap his arms.
Why do we need you to interpret the document?
You're saying
why do we need you to interpret the document?
I need you to interpret the document.
That's like too quick. You're again. The logic professor keeps making fallacies.
You asked me what I thought it meant.
Why do you need to interpret them?
Let me read it. There's a paragraph before that one. I just want to read the full paragraph.
Sure. Good.
Or actually, this is part of the full paragraph. It says, throughout history to the present day, there is found among different peoples a certain awareness of a hidden power, which lies behind the course of nature and the events of human life. At times, there is present even a recognition of a supreme being, or still more of a father. This awareness and recognition results in a way of life that is imbued with a deep religious sense. The religions which are found in more advanced civilizations endeavor by way of well-defined concepts and exact language to answer these questions. Thus, in Hinduism, people explore the divine mystery and express it both in the limitless riches of myth and the accurately defined insights of philosophy. They seek release from the trials of the present life by ascetical practices, profound meditation, and recourse to God in confidence and love. Buddhism in its various forms testifies
to God
to
in
the
confidence
essential
alone.
inadequacy of this changing world. It proposes a way of life by which people can, with confidence and trust, attain a state of perfect liberation and reach supreme illumination either through their own efforts or with divine help. So, too, other religions which are found throughout the world attempt in different ways to overcome the restlessness of people's hearts by outlining a program of life covering doctrine, moral precepts, and sacred rites.
Yeah, this is
there perfect liberation in Buddhism?
Now, real quick, I do want to read just a little bit. I did want to read the one paragraph. There's a little bit more that I think is interesting.
You already said it's bad.
It goes
Word
on.
it.
It
You
goes-
said it was
It's
badly worded.
insinuative
It now answers
because
this.
people like
Then
you
it's
go ape shit.
so
now-
people
it
like
now
me, right?
directly
So again,
answers
another
this
fallacy
today.
ad hominem.
So it actually
five
says
fallacies,
here.
Tim. Good job.
It actually says here.
Do we have a mute button?
Immediately following.
Yeah, because he's calling out. I'm calling out the
guys.
logic professor's fallacies.
I just want to point out that by that, okay.
Sorry to do it. But immediately following this paragraph, it says, the Catholic Church rejects nothing of what is true and holy in these religions.
There it is.
It has a high regard for the manner of life and conduct, the precepts and doctrines which, although differing in many ways from its own teaching, nevertheless often reflect a ray of that truth which enlightens all men and women. Yet it proclaims and is in duty bound to proclaim without fail Christ, who is the way, the truth, and life. In him, in whom God reconciled all things to himself, people find the fullness of their religious life.
Thank you. I was going to ask for the
I don't know
book so
what
I
you
could
think.
read that.
All that shows
feel
is a
like-
contradiction.
No,
that doesn't help you
I
out.
actually agree with the Catholic view. It's basically saying the way I interpret that is it's saying Hindus and Buddhists are looking through a keyhole and seeing these fragments that they're not quite understanding properly. And
Right.
if they were to adhere to Jesus Christ and find the way,
Precisely.
The
what
problem
it
is
says.
not,
and that's
the
precisely
problem-
what all
no,
the even
that's
non-liberals at the
false.
council
The problem
said it meant.
is that only
It's written by liberals.
John 14, Jesus says that he's the only way, right? The way,
course.
the truth, and the life.
it says that.
No, but
says
I
that.
understand that the problem is that you cannot. It says in the religions of Hinduism and in Buddhism, men find love in God, and they find
No, they seek love.
No, it says they find it.
They believe they
one
seek it.
phrase says seek it, then it says they find it. Just like it says.
Read it again.
Just like it says Muslims adore the one God.
No,
Do
it
they?
says they-
is adoration.
Well,
Is that
Muslims are different because they're
No, they're
Western
not.
religion.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Do they
What's a
believe
Western religion?
Do they believe in one God or multiple?
They believe in monotheism.
Vatican
don't
II
believe in
says the
Trinity.
Does
monotheist.
the Bible teach?
Of course, they don't
does the
believe in
Bible teach the Trinity or monotheism?
the Trinity.
Oh,
But
so then Muslims don't believe in the God of the Bible.
do you know what the sense or reference
Wait,
dichotomy
I do
is?
know that, yeah.
Okay,
I do.
so
I have a question for you.
So if you understand what sense reference dichotomy
What
is,
is Jesus- okay,
we can
so
be referring to the
does Jesus
same
say-
thing.
does Jesus
you
say-
describe it as yellow, I describe
about
it as
the
red,
Pharisees?
and we're still
Does
referring
Jesus
to the
say
same
that the
thing.
Pharisees
You're
worship-
misunderstanding the
Oh, so
sense
you
reference
won't-
dichotomy.
Does Jesus think that the Pharisees accurately worship the Father?
No, of course not.
So then that undoes your argument
But
about Muslims.
no.
It
Okay.
undoes your Muslim
Explain,
argument.
because you said you understand the sense reference dichotomy. Explain how by sense
Word concept
the answer
fallacy.
is affirmative, and by reference it would be a negative answer. We can be referring to the same thing. If you think Cleveland is
It doesn't
Cincinnati
matter.
and I think
You want me
it's
to disprove your
Cincinnati,
sense reference argument?
and we're not that.
You want me to disprove your sense
Just
reference
answer the
argument?
question.
I can disprove it by
Sense
by
reference.
Mormons.
Sense reference.
Do Mormons believe in Jesus?
No, but Mormons don't believe
No.
he's the
Do
Son
they
of
use
God.
the term Jesus?
No.
They
Yes,
don't believe
Yeah,
that.
they do.
Mormons
They're
don't use the term
Mormons
Jesus?
absolutely use the
You're an
term
idiot.
Jesus. It's in
Mormons
their
use the
church
term
name.
Jesus.
Wait. No.
Do Mormons use the term
believe
Jesus?
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day
Mormons
Saints.
believe
Melt
Jesus
down.
is Well, I'm the one guy that hasn't been interrupting. So Mormons believe
serious?
that there was a historical Jesus. He believes that Mormons
Do
believe
they
that
use
Jesus
the
was
term
not
Jesus
the Son of God.
Christ? I know what they
Of course,
believe.
Of
It's the
course.
name of their religion.
So just like Muslims, if they say I believe in the one God, it's the quantifier shift fallacy.
No, that's true.
It's the it's true.
But that's what the
Well,
document
thank
is
you. If it's the
representing.
quantifier shift fallacy, then that undoes what.
what does that mean? What does that mean?
So it's like if I say I have one mother, you have one mother. We all have one mother, therefore we come from the same mother. It's a quantifying shift fallacy. So one God, well, we all believe in one God, therefore it's the same God. Vatican II is using the quantifier shift fallacy.
Read the line. Read the line that you think is false definitively. Because there are no definitive statements you've read that are false.
Notice that.
Seeking, searching, exploring.
Why do we need
My uncle
all of this? Why
believes
do we
he can
whole lot
fly.
like bias
This
in
is
the debate?
retarded.
I think-
This is
so
retarded.
So the quantifier shift fallacy is retarded.
I think. Okay, guys.
No.
Let me say this.
The claim that there's something false you just read is retarded.
Okay, let me.
It's written by liberals.
Okay.
I gave you that.
Wait
at the
a minute.
beginning.
It's written by liberals, but it's supposed to clarify. So the
have a
papacy
question.
does the job of clarifying,
I-
but it's written by liberals, and we need Tim to interpret it for
You
us.
don't need me to interpret anything.
what- but you said
I'm
it's ambiguous.
defending
Hardest
against an
things are two
attack
channels.
that you're making that's common.
Muslims
and
worship the
mischaracterized.
one true God living and subsisting in himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Quantifier shift fallacy.
They don't
That's
say
a
it.
pretty tough one to get through.
Quantifier shift
I'm
fallacy.
dealing with two barking dogs
says-
every
I see that.
time.
It says-
Muslims
I'm
claim.
barely talking,
How about
man.
this? Muslims claim to believe in one God.
It doesn't say. It says they adore. It doesn't say they claim.
Muslims do
You're
adore
adding
one
the
God.
words.
Now,
they adore
by
the.
the
It
sense
says
reference
the.
dichotomy.
He's right. It
says
does say
Muslims-
Okay, wait. Hold on. I'm going to read this.
Tim.
I want to read this.
Yeah, read it.
This is important. It says the church also has a high regard for the Muslims. They worship God who is one, living and consistent, merciful, and almighty.
Precisely.
What I said.
Wait,
Precisely.
I'm
That's
not
what
done.
I said.
I'm not done.
Let him finish
I'm
reading.
not
You're being
done.
dishonest.
I'm not done. The creator of heaven and earth, who has also spoken to humanity, they endeavor to submit themselves without reserve to the hidden decrees of God, just as Abraham submitted himself to God's plan.
Just like Abraham.
And whose faith Muslims eagerly link to their own. Although not acknowledging him as God, they venerate Jesus as a prophet. His virgin mother they also honor, and even at times devoutly invoke. Further, they await the day of judgment and the reward of God following the resurrection of the dead. For this reason, they highly esteem an upright life and worship God, especially by way of prayer, alms, deeds, and fasting. It does seem like they're saying, as far as I can tell, Muslims are worshiping the same God.
Yes.
Well, yes,
Which
this is
they're
a
objectively not.
community college primer on intro to religions and
You
nothing
mean how
more.
you couldn't get quantifier shift fallacy?
It's in your
Islam is literally one of the three monotheisms in Western religion. Is it triune? No. So by
No, it's
sense-
not the God of the Bible
Hold on.
according to you.
By
You said the Bible God is the Trinity.
No.
Yes, you did.
Well, of course. You don't think I think the Bible God is the Trinity?
Then the Muslims don't worship the same God because of the quantifier shift fallacy.
The Muslims don't worship the same God. It
book
doesn't
says
say
they
the
do.
same God as us.
The book
Thank
says
you.
they do.
Thank you.
No, it
Thank
doesn't.
you.
Can
He
you
just
read it
said
again, Tim? They don't worship the same God.
Muslim. Are you serious?
What's going on here? How are
He
we
just
having this
agreed.
discussion?
They worship God who is living and subsisting in himself.
Same. We're
the
same.
merciful, almighty creator.
No, you said the same God as us. As us.
It
as
is
you and
saying
I.
us.
No,
And
no,
you-
it doesn't say us.
Oh, so it doesn't say us. Are you serious?
Dude, Muslims
Sophistry?
worship. How
This
many
is why we left.
gods do Muslims
This is why
worship,
we
Jay?
left.
Doesn't
Jay,
say.
Jay Dyer, how many gods do Muslims worship?
worship- read this
How many
again.
do they
Never
worship?
had.
By the way,
One or two or three?
I don't believe in generic monotheism. That's a word
Well,
that
that's
exists
a distinction.
in the 1600s.
I also don't agree. I believe
Tim,
what you're
it's the
both saying.
quantifier shift fallacy.
One thing for certain is
fine.
the Muslims.
Can you tell me how
You
it's
don't
not?
believe that they believe they worship one
It
God.
doesn't matter because the statement is that
You said
they
you
do.
understood the sense
They
reference
do
dichotomy.
worship
They do worship.
the one true God, Tim.
So what you're quibbling
you're
over
failing.
is whether or not
You're melting
the
down.
verb and the
Hey,
direct
hey, can I
object
see
there
it?
We don't need a
are
grammar
in
lesson.
agreement.
We don't need a grammar lesson. Literally,
You do need a grammar lesson.
No,
you
I-
do.
I- okay, let me-
You're a
okay,
logic
okay.
professor. You couldn't do the quantifier shift fallacy.
hold
This
on.
guy doesn't know that Islam claims to worship one God.
It doesn't say they
Okay,
just
okay,
claim
okay.
it. It says they do.
It
Tim.
says they worship God, not they worship
you.
a God.
Well, the church, the Roman Catholic Church, has always acknowledged
This is the Roman Catholic Church.
since Pius X, since two different medieval popes, that Muslims
That's why it's a contradiction.
worship in some
That's
sense
why
the
it's a
same God,
contradiction.
different reference.
Tim, no.
Simple
Grammatically,
fact.
grammatically, this is very straightforward. They worship God, not a God. They worship God,
And even the
capital
one true
G,
God. The
who
church
is
taught in
one-
the medieval
don't,
church.
Tim.
They
one true
worship God, who is one living and subsistent,
Did you
merciful and
read-
almighty.
I'm not quibbling with the
creator of heaven
Protestant and
earth,
Orthodox.
who has
I'm just
also
saying what the
spoken
church
to
has always
humanity.
taught.
That is them saying
Well, can
they
you
worship
address-
our God.
Could you address the argument then?
Well,
how does
guys,
the quantifier
The argument
shift?
is
This would
the
be-
church
you would be
never
right if it
changed
said
its
a
teaching
God.
on Islam.
Tim, you would be right if
That's
it said
the
a
argument.
God.
The argument is what?
I can read you from the personal Pius X Catechism that
I
he
know.
says the one true God. You
Tim,
might have
it's
issue
wrong.
with
Wait,
that.
okay,
It's
pause,
wrong.
pause, real
Not
quick,
wrong.
real quick.
It doesn't represent a
I'm
change.
arguing that it's wrong.
Okay, guys,
Fair.
real quick.
But it doesn't represent a
just-
change.
Okay, we're not.
It doesn't represent a
Okay,
change.
Okay, guys, we're
What
not.
about praying in
the
March?
conversation is not advancing.
Can I ask one question?
This conversation hasn't
I
advanced
wanna
in
say
1,000
one thing.
years.
It's not. I think it's actually been pretty good actually. What I interpret from that is that they were trying to say there is one true God, and even in that regard, they're saying other religions are seeing it improperly and doing it wrong. Like the argument is you look through a keyhole.
Right.
I think that's what it's saying. It's saying
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
Muslims are looking through a hole and they're seeing something tiny and they're not doing it right.
Right.
Hindus are looking through a different hole.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the argument of Vatican II is there is only one true God. Everyone else is just looking at it wrong.
Right.
problem-
Written by Jesuits.
it also-
who are very
Yeah.
liberal.
So see now
So they're
it's bad
insinuating
again. Now
that.
it's
Their
bad
church
again.
created the Jesuits, by
Now
the
it's
way.
bad again.
That was on them.
So from the Orthodox perspective,
Yes, the Jesuits are Catholic.
From the Orthodox perspective,
Newsflash.
You just
Protestant
complained
says
about the
Jesuits
Jesuits.
are Catholic.
From the
You
Orthodox,
just complained about them and said they're too liberal.
Yes, that's a well-known Catholic
what is it,
position.
So Catholics can be be too liberal and it's fine.
Is
Protestants,
it the Episcopal Church where they have
yeah,
like,
they have an ecclesiology still.
we also have
Transmitted.
But I got a question.
Because I say that the Jesuits trend liberal, it doesn't mean
guys,
that they're Protestants like you.
Well, you also expelled them because they were too liberal.
Okay,
So.
is the one
for
thing
less
y'all
than
can
20
agree
years.
on is that the Episcopal Church is the inferior church?
The Episcopal Church sucks.
Do you all agree?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
agree with that for sure.
Sure.
So I want to highlight too that I think Tim will have to admit this, that post Vatican II, we can see the actions of the papacy, how they interpret this document, because they in many cases literally will go pray in mosque towards Mecca. Benedict XVI did it. Also, John Paul II did it. Benedict XVI and Francis both did this, where they went to the mosque, they reverently prayed towards Mecca. That's an outward expression of the interior disposition in Roman Catholic moral theology of their faith.
No, that's
the
bad.
way that
It's
they
bad. It's not dogmatic. That's
Vatican II is not dogmatic.
no. Vatican II is dogmatic. The Pope's going and praying.
I'm
somewhere
saying
stupid,
that it expresses
like
their
a mosque.
action. It expresses their faith. That's
As the
all I'm
Patriarch
saying.
of Constantinople.
I think
made plans
he's
to
a
do
heretic. I don't have a problem saying he's a heretic.
Okay.
but you
Well,
can't
so-
say that. You can't say the Pope's a heretic.
Francis was a material heretic. We don't know yet if he's a formal.
No one judges the first see. Do you?
No one has judged the first see yet.
Who
But
can?
You're judging it now.
the Cardinals could.
Canon
Oh,
7.
the Cardinals.
hold on.
Wait,
Canon,
so-
Canon 750 says that laity do not have the right to judge the bishops in the sees.
I'm not judging him. That means
You just said
to
he's
lay
a material
decree on
heretic.
them. A material heretic
He's not
and a formal
formally judging him.
I know what it means.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
formally
You don't have authority, but it also means that you don't. It says that you have to submit with docility to the rulings of the ordinary teaching.
Of course. That's not
Then
a
you don't
teaching.
get to
That's
say-
an action.
Then
We
you don't
can
get
say
to
that
say
this is in conformity
this is sophistry.
with the liberal view,
let me just-
with the liberal
Then you don't get to
misinterpretation.
judge the
All
first
right.
see.
You can't just talk over
all right,
everything.
let me
Did the
throw
council
something
judge
there.
The
vigilance?
intentional liberal misinterpretation of those passages you read, which
So
I think Tim
Vatican-
interpret.
so the papacy
Which
doesn't
Tim
clear anything
interpreted
up.
correctly.
So
I'm
the-
gonna-
can be
say this.
taken by popes and made mince of.
I'll just say this real quick. That which I read is more convincing to me of the Catholics.
Well,
I would agree if not for the fact that it says Muslims worship the same God. As
Correct.
I
It
think
doesn't
that-
say
I-
same
it
God.
does.
He
But-
checked
hold
it.
on, hold on.
Jay,
hold
does
on.
it say
says
same?
the same. Yes,
It doesn't say the word same.
It doesn't
Okay, but hold on,
literally-
hold on.
It doesn't
serious?
literally
Says the one
say
God.
the same,
Okay,
but
guys,
it does
guys,
grammatically say
Who's
the
making
same.
shit up?
Who's the creator, Tim?
Wait.
Who's the creator?
I
Does
think
it
it's
say
correct.
same?
It
Who's
says
the creator?
God. It says they
I-
worship
we'll check
God.
it. Who's the
Capital G,
creator? People out there-
upper-round God.
Does this passage-
Who is
don't
the
just yell into
creator?
the microphone if no one else is, if people keep talking. I think it's correct.
Okay, but
I think Muslims do worship God.
They don't.
they don't. But
Not our God.
So he already admitted.
Right, and so
But that says capital G God.
that's why this is convincing to me, and you guys aren't being convincing to me.
But
I'll tell you why.
Again,
Can
if
I
it said
explain why
a
they
God,
don't?
if it said a God, I'd agree with you. But it says
Because
God,
I think-
a formal
Believe
title.
there's a God besides God?
I think there is one.
That's the
God.
sense reference dichotomy right there.
So-
So you believe there's another God besides God?
so the popes pray in mosque.
You just said you believe they
Did
worship
you
a
actually
real God.
hear what I said?
Okay,
said
hold
a
on.
God.
We
I
can't
said
just-
if it said they worship a God, as
This is
in
important.
they believe they're worshiping a God who is similar to
No,
our
not
God.
they believe. They really do. Remember, that's the
Tim,
key. Wait.
his
We're talking
argument-
about your text, dude.
It's your text.
Yeah, you literally. I know it's my text. You literally
I agree
said
with it.
what would make all the difference is if they said that the Muslims worship a God rather than a God. You're making reference to the sense reference
No,
dichotomy
he's
by
correct.
saying a.
No.
it's not
That's
right.
why you couldn't answer the
Because
qualifier
they
shift
can't.
fallacy.
No,
They
you're,
can't
you're,
worship
you're
a
either not
non-existent
understanding
God.
what I said or
You're not
deliberately
understanding his
misrepresenting
argument.
what I
I'm
said.
not deliberately misrepresenting anything. I'm saying
Then
that
you don't understand what I said.
the sense reference dichotomy literally covers whether
the
or
word
not
concept
they say
fallacy.
God
We
or
don't need to go
a
to sense
God.
reference dichotomy. This is grammar.
Well, do you know what it is?
Yes. Okay, guys.
This
okay.
is grammar.
It's a
Tim Pool
grammatical
understands it.
distinction.
Tim understands it's the same God.
He is not
But
not
it
saying
doesn't
that simply
say
because
same.
they
It does. It
It
says
says they
creator.
worship God, capital G God.
I'm going to quote my friend Jay Dyer, who says that this passage says same God, not one God.
Who's the creator, Tim?
Same God would be
Tim, who's the creator?
the same God would be an
So you can't
indexical.
answer this.
So
Why are you being dishonest?
So you're being dishonest. You
Who's
said
the
it's
No,
creator?
you're Tim. You're,
Literally,
Come on, man.
same.
Come
People
on.
out there, check
Who
it.
is the
Come on.
creator?
This is
Because
such
he
cope.
can't answer.
Look, I understand
Notice
you
how
don't
he's
understand
coping.
the philosophy involved.
He's melting down and coping because he can't answer who the
melting down
creator
at all.
is.
You made up
This
that
guy
it
called me a
said
heretic 20 minutes ago, and I agree with him.
Muslims worship the same God as us would be by an indexical.
I'm a
Same
Unitarian
means
now.
that it says. If
Tim,
we use the word same, it would
Do you
be,
want the attributes?
it would be heresy, and
It's
that's
natural.
why I said it wasn't
Tim, it's
in there.
natural theology.
If it says that
It's
they
your
worship
natural
one
theology.
God, then it would be correct.
It says
they
they
do
wor-
worship one God.
They worship God, who is one, living and subsisting in himself, merciful, almighty, and the creator.
Sure. They're adumbrating the Muslim view. I don't know why this is so shocking.
Again,
You know what?
if he said they
Lumen
worship a god, they'd be enumerating the Muslim view,
Tim,
but they say God.
Lumen
I think
Gentium,
it's right.
Lumen Gentium 16 says they adore the one God. That's a term of worship.
I
That's
think,
a term
I think
of
they're
worship.
right.
The one God. They adore the one God.
I agree
And
with-
Pius X said this in his personal catechism.
So
and-
now you're
and-
deflecting
And
to
two medieval
You're
popes said it
deflecting.
too. You could take issue with the Roman Catholic position as an Orthodox. That's what you should do. But you can't say
Nor
that the church has changed.
Tim, the document
That's
is
all.
contradicting is the argument.
No,
we don't care about
the document
Pius
doesn't
X.
contradict Catholicism. It might contradict J. Dyer or
I'm
no,
there.
it-
The document itself contradicts what you said earlier. You
Does
said that God is-
Catholicism hold that Islam is the same as Christianity?
Do you know what a precept is? What a logical axiom is? Logical axioms are pre-scriptural. So literally, the sense-reference dichotomy or the concept of proportional cause. These are things which pre.
So sophistry,
preordained
deflections,
language.
getting
It's not
away from the
sophistry
argument.
to
It is
explain
sophistry.
something
It is
to you don't
sophistry.
understand.
You didn't know that. You didn't
gonna say
understand
this.
You did 5 fallacies in a row.
You
dude.
said
Come on.
same. That would be
They adore.
heresy.
No,
The text
they
says
adore. Thank you,
God.
because that's what the argument of the text is, Tim. They adore the one God in Lumen Gentium 16.
In order for
I do
adore the
your
one
argument
God.
to be
No,
correct,
they don't.
God
That
would
just
have to not be a
repeated you.
proper noun in
Okay,
that
let's-
sentence.
I-
And God is
I
a proper
believe
noun in that
that
sentence.
Muslims
We're gonna have
worship
to
the
mute
one
everybody.
God.
No, they don't.
I believe that is a Pius X
Is he doing
Catholic.
it? Is he muting everybody? I don't. Okay. I don't know what y'all are arguing at this point.
Can I state?
I just hear noise. Just hear yelling. Well, the moment
I
the
don't
moment
hear
the
anything.
moment anyone talks, everyone just starts talking. And then when I was asking a question, you guys started having a different debate at the same time.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Can I say what I perceive the argument to be as somebody who's kind of outside of it?
Yeah,
at the moment?
let's just slow it down. Let him say it, and then we'll.
What I'm hearing from Jay is that passage reads that Muslims, by what the passage says, not literally, Muslims worship the same God that we do because it says they worship God, capital G, proper noun, and then that is followed up with a description of the Christian God.
Yes.
You are saying that this is correct because they do believe they worship the same God as us, therefore it's not incorrect. I would argue if it said they worship a God, you would be correct. But grammatically, it says they worship
Does
God.
a God exist outside of the one God?
It doesn't matter. They are
because
worshiping
another
something.
quote.
You're not talking about
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
You're
one
talking
second.
about
Let's-
reference.
Oh my God.
There's another quote that answers.
So yeah, read that next quote, but please don't interrupt.
So Lumen Gentium.
I have a thought on this.
So there's another statement beyond Nostra Aetate 3, which is Lumen Gentium 16. It says the plan of salvation includes those that acknowledge the Creator, first among whom are the Muslims. They profess the faith of Abraham, and together with us, Catholics, they adore the one true God. That refutes you.
That doesn't
Is it-
refute me.
hold on,
I agree with
wait,
that.
wait,
I hold that.
Together with us,
Catholics have
but together with us refute your entire argument the last 20
Hold
minutes.
on,
not.
hold on.
How does it
Absolutely not.
Together with us, Catholics.
I'll
Okay,
respond
wait.
afterwards.
Okay, together with us, who are they referring to? Muslims.
Muslims and Catholics.
Okay,
Muslims and Christians. Yeah.
Catholics.
so
The Catholic document.
the way
Together with us.
This
Together with all
again,
monotheists.
Neither of our
It says
sects
together
believe
with us,
this.
Catholics. What are you talking about?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you.
Why
something.
are you
Okay,
lying?
I'm gonna say this right now, guys. To Orthodox and Anglican Catholic, everything you're saying is convincing me more and more of the Catholic argument.
How?
Because the position that this is taking, imagine it like this: there's a rock concert, an arena, stadium, and Catholics are all. Let's just say from the argument presented in this book, Catholics are all looking directly at the stage, and Muslims are in the back behind it, hearing a different bassy, garbled version of it. They're cheering for Freddie Mercury, but they're hearing some weird version of the song.
Exactly.
When I hear that, is what it's saying is that that all of these different religions are looking at they're doing things the wrong way towards the right God, and it's because there is only one God.
This is precisely the Catholic interpretation since Vatican II. Now, I admitted at
But-
the very outset that it's written by liberals, so it squints towards more conciliation, which is bad. But we have to say that Lumen Gentium, yeah, but after I'm done, Lumen Gentium and the other two sacred
I
constitutions
was
at
asking him,
Vatican
not
II.
you. I wasn't asking
Okay,
for
but
permission.
don't just.
But you're using it
I
to
wasn't asking
interrupt.
for permission.
Tim's the Pope.
I'd be all for, by the way, muting while other guys are talking, because that's a really
because
effective way of going.
It's still just yelling, though. You know what I mean?
But yeah, but I can sit here and be quiet. I'm just saying, as the Catholic,
Trump shouldn't have been muted either.
Yeah, agreed. No, as the Catholic, that there has to be a distinction between monotheism and polytheism on the basis of natural religion. Everyone out there who's listening to this knows. Okay, there are three Abrahamic religions, which was posited by Lumen Gentium. There's Judaism, Islam, Christianity. That this is, community college intro to religions 101. There are polytheisms. There are only three monotheisms in the history of the world. Now, there's only one correct monotheism, which posits a triune God. They say that they get this wrong. This is repeated throughout the sacred constitutions of Vatican II, that Jews and Muslims, even though they're monotheists, they get it wrong. They don't worship a triune God. This is said countless times in the documents. But that's why we don't have the index, they believe, or they falsely think that. That language is reserved in the Vatican II documents for the polytheisms. So all they're doing there, and it's written by Jesuit liberals, we're squinting toward a bad interpretation. They say correctly they worship the one true God. Pius X says this in his personal catechism. He's a trad favorite. Two other medieval popes say the exact same thing. Whether J. Dyer or Laura Lodge likes it, this is the Catholic. This is the Catholic view.
Well, but he's branding. It's good. It's
Okay,
good.
fair enough.
I'm trying to help you, Brandon. But with regard, this is the last statement. With regard to the polytheists, that's why they always say they falsely claim that, they falsely believe that, they falsely search for, they seek for. Okay, so the distinction is monotheist, polytheist.
This is correct, and everything Tim said there we would agree with, except that from the Orthodox perspective, we reject the whole idea that there are Abrahamic monotheistic faiths. So even though Muslims might see themselves as that, when we look at the Old Testament revelation, we believe that it is the Trinity explicitly revealing itself in the Old Testament. They don't know the name per se of the word Trinity, but it's Yahweh, his angel messenger, and his spirit are revealed. And in John 5-9, when Jesus debates with the Pharisees, who were the monotheists, he consistently says, you don't get the right God, you don't get the right picture. Abraham worshiped me, Jesus says in John 8. He says Moses wrote about him, meaning that Abraham and Moses had faith in Christ. This is a key point to undo the natural theology argument that the Old Testament posited a generic theism of just a one monotheistic God. If Abraham believed in the Trinity, then the whole Abrahamic religion thing falls apart. And Jesus says that to have faith in him makes you a child of Abraham. Galatians 3, Paul says the exact same thing. So when Vatican II acknowledges that they have the faith of Abraham together with us, we believe that is a denial of Jesus' teaching in John 8 that you can be a child of Abraham without faith in Christ.
I get
That's
that.
the argument.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, real quick. So
just as a represented change.
my response is kind of like, let's say we discover we can make intercontinental ballistic missiles and very powerful ICBMs. The modern American ICBM is 1,250 times stronger than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is also possible that it is also true that India and Pakistan have nuclear weapons that are substantially weaker because they have not yet discovered the means and the capability by which to build such a powerful bomb. So I think it could be said that you may have discovered hidden truths and the true path towards God and religion, and Muslims are effectively using a 1 kiloton bomb when you got a megaton bomb. That's why
I think the argument would be that Muslims are openly rejecting Christianity.
So the point is that there are fundamentals that are absolutely essential to have access to God or to Christianity. So to deny, for example, the Trinity or the Incarnation puts us one outside of the bounds of Christianity at all.
But I agree that look at it this way. There's a bouncer at a club, and he says, if you follow the rules, you can come into the club, and half the people follow the rules and get let in, and the other half says, that guy's telling us to go bash the windows out, and they get thrown out. They thought that's what the guy wanted. It's the same guy, but they're doing it wrong.
Well, we do throw people out.
Right. My point is, when Vatican II says they worship God, it's like the bouncer being like, yo, I never told those people to throw bricks at the building. What are they doing?
Well, the problem is not just worship, but Vatican II uses the term of adoration, which in Catholic theology is more specific than just a generic idea of natural theology. Adoration is something that's a specific term for adoring the Eucharist in Catholic theology. And I would also point out that in my opening statement, I mentioned the fact that the Council of Vienne, which is a medieval Roman Catholic theology, which was involved in the Crusades, that attitude today that you see here is completely different than the attitude then in the Middle Ages,
Sure.
where it was the abominable sect of Muhammad in the council. They call crusades against the Muslims to protect the Holy Land.
Sure, attitudes change. Dogma does.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
How can you be the abominable sect of Muhammad, but now
it is the abominable sect of Muhammad.
But now together with us, they adore the one true God. That's the contradiction, Tim.
They could be
are
the
these
abominable
both
sect of
dogmatic?
Muhammad and still worship one
No,
God.
they don't.
Yeah, even by reference
With
to
us,
one true God.
with us, Tim.
Jay, can I ask? Are these are both dogmatic councils?
Yeah,
Correct.
they're from Vatican II.
Okay, then dogma contradicts.